everybody. It is Monday Movement Madness, and I am going live. Sorry, I had some technical difficulties here. And this week, it's week 2. We are focused on static stretching. It's Monday Movement Madness, and we are focused on static stretching. And I would like to start with a couple stretches that we can do at our workstation. Now, as you can see, I am using a regular dining room chair here. You may have a chair that has handles, so this first stretch you may not be able to do with the handles, but I'm going to demonstrate it anyway, and then I'm going to demonstrate it with standing up so that you have that option, okay? So for those of you who don't have handles, you'll scoot to the side of your chair, and you're going to take one leg behind you as you do this. I'm going to turn. I'm going to take one leg behind me. My toe is tucked under and it's placed down on the ground. My leg is directly underneath my hip, and I'm going to tuck my pelvis underneath me. And this is so that we can get a hip flexor stretch. So I'm stretching my hip flexor here, and the hip flexors are the muscles in the front of your hips that get very tight for sitting all day long. So stretching the hip flexors is really important here, and tucking that pelvis underneath you is where you're going to get that added stretch. We want to do these static stretches. So this week's class is static stretches, and it's all about holding these stretches for anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute. So let me switch sides here because you should be doing this class with me so you can get these stretches while I'm teaching them to you. So again, the leg is behind you. You got your toe tucked under behind you on the floor. You're going to tuck your pelvis underneath you, and then you're just going to hold this position. Again, that tuck is really important. If you're not tucking, then you're not going to be stretching your hip flexor. You got to get that knee underneath you and that pelvis tucked under so you can get that added stretch. Now, as promised, if you don't have a chair that you can do this in, because normally you'd be doing it here at the edge, or you can turn like I did, but if you've got handles, you can do the same thing standing up. So I'm going to take one leg behind me. Again, my toe is tucked under on the ground. My heel is lifted. My knee is underneath my hip. I'm going to tuck my pelvis underneath me. And if you need more of a stretch, you can kind of lean into this a little bit because standing, you may need to get a little bit more of a stretch in that hip flexor. To add more to the stretch, you can take the arm up towards the ceiling and then lean it over to the side so you can get a little more added stretch there in that psoas muscle, which connects into the bottom of your spine. So the more when you bring your arm up and lean over, it elongates that muscle. Again, let's do the other side. So leg behind you, tuck that pelvis under. Then if you want that added stretch, you're going to take the arm up and you're going to reach over to the side. So again, as you're holding this position, because you should be doing this while I'm talking today, that these stretches help elongate the muscle that we're trying to stretch. And again, in this particular case, these hip flexors get super tight and they get contracted, and they can sometimes pull your pelvis anterior or make it impossible for you to work your hip flexors effectively, which then can affect your low back. It can affect your entire body, oftentimes your hips, low back, sometimes even knees, and your upper neck muscles as well can be affected by tightness and dysfunction in the hip flexor. Moving on to the next one, we're going to do quad stretching. Normally we do this standing up. You can also do it lying down or laying on your side, but it's a workstation class, so we're not going to do that. I'm going to use the back of my chair. This chair is pretty high. It's very difficult for me to get my leg up there because I'm pretty flexible, so hopefully your chair isn't as high as mine. You're going to take your toe on the back of the chair here. Again, you'll have to flip your shoes off if you're at your workstation for this. No big deal. You're going to tuck your pelvis underneath you again so you can get that stretch in your quad. Again, my chair is pretty high here, so if you can't get your toe up this high, you can turn your chair around and go a little bit lower, or you can take your hand behind you and just grab your foot with your hand. Now, again, critical piece here, tucking that pelvis underneath you, making sure that the knee does not come forward. If that knee comes forward, you're eliminating the stretch. So keep that knee underneath you. I'm going to go ahead and do the other side here so you can get both sides. Again, you just grab the foot behind you, or if you want to get a more relaxed stretch, the chair often helps you relax into this. And if your chair isn't too high like mine is, you can place your toe up against that. And again, you'll get a really intense stretch in that quad. Tuck the pelvis under. Very hard for me to tuck my pelvis under on this one because my toe is so high, but I'm making it work, and I'm really have an intense stretch happening in my quadricep. Quads, again, when they're tight, same thing can affect your pelvis position and can affect everything up into the neck area as well. So important to stretch your leg muscles, even though your problem might be in your neck and shoulders. Okay, moving on. Let's do some chest and then some lats. So for chest, I'm going to turn my chair to the side here. I'm going to grab my hands on the back of the chair. I'm going to lean to the front of my chair, and then I'm going to just take a nice little arch position. I am going to allow my ribs and chest to flare out a little bit. I'm going to look up towards the sky. The higher my hands go up on the chair, the more intense the stretch might be, okay? So if you're super tight, you're going to take your hands down here on this chair and make sure that you're not over straining your neck or anything crazy like that. So the higher you go, the more intense. Again, you want to hold this for about a minute. So while you're doing this class with me today, you should be holding the whole time, not looking at me. You're going to look up towards the sky here a little bit so you can, again, get that stretch and feel that chest open up. Those muscles get super duper tight from typing and texting and all that fun stuff. All right, next, I'm going to demonstrate a lat stretch. Lats are the muscles here on the side of your body. When they're contracted and when they're tight, they bring the shoulders forward into internal rotation, and we tend to get that rounded shoulders and that kyphotic upper posture that we're trying to avoid. I'm going to demonstrate this when kneeling. If kneeling is not possible for you, I will also demonstrate it standing. But kneeling is a little more effective. So you're going to come down onto your knees. Hold on, I'm just going to a little camera adjusting here to do. I'm going to bring the chair out in front of me, and then I'm going to grab with one hand to the opposite end of the chair here and lower my body down into a flat back position. Then once I get there, I'm going to take the side. So I'm stretching my right side here. I'm going to take my hip of the opposite side and move it away so I can get that elongation on this right side. So I'm going to come down. I'm going to move the hip away, and now you'll feel that I have this stretch, or see, you won't feel, I will feel, and you will see that I have the stretch happening down the side of my body. Again, about a minute on each side. So let's assume we've done a minute and come to the other side. I'm going to take that hand across the chair. I'm going to come down and then shift the hip away from my left side so I can get that stretch. For me, on the opposite side, it's happening here, kind of under here at the top. And then when I shift that hip away, I get a really nice, intense stretch down the side of my body. If you can't do it kneeling, you can do it standing. So you can hold on to the top of the chair, come down, take that hand across, lower down, shift the hip away. So again, if I'm stretching my left side, I'm shifting my hips to the right. And then if I'm going to do the other side, I'm going to come down. I'm going to shift the hip away and get a stretch on my right side. So if I'm stretching my right, I'm shifting my hips to the left. Like here, I'm looking underneath my armpit as I talk to you. So again, you're trying to get that stretch from kind of underneath the armpit here down to the side of the body. You don't want to push down too much. That's going to put a lot of strain on your neck and shoulders. So think about finding that tabletop position and then again shifting the hip away. Okay, finally, I have some time to hit some calves. Calves, super important. When you have tight calves and if you don't have functioning ankles, walking becomes challenging and the entire gait changes and affects the entire spine. So I'm going to do a standing calf stretch here. You can use the back of your chair if you want. I'm going to just demonstrate facing the side here, not holding on to anything. So you can see my feet. I've got one foot backwards, both toes facing forward, and then I'm going to lean. So if I've got my desk here, my chair here, I can lean onto that and use that. I can even be typing on my keyboard. This leg is going to get a little work holding me in this position. The back toe is going to be facing forward so I get that stretch. Back leg is straight so I get that stretch on that back leg. Let's do the other side here, okay? So both toes facing forward, bend that front knee, lean forward, keep that back leg straight, keep the back heel down, and hold this again. You can place your hands on the keyboard if you're too busy and need to keep typing. That's perfectly fine. The idea here are stretches that you can do at your workstation. Okay, I've got about 1 more minute because I promised to keep this class under 10 minutes. So you can be doing any of these stretches that I showed you while I'm talking. I just want to remind everybody that my daily Deskercise Delivered program has launched, and it's designed to show you these kinds of exercises. Exercises you can do during your workday that will help fix your pain, help you get back into alignment, help you feel better during your day. With my program, you get 5 to 7 exercises emailed you every day. Every week is going to be a new routine. So Monday you'll get a new routine, and by Friday you will understand it and know it really well. The difference in this program and what makes it unique, I'm noticing my head's out of camera. What makes it unique is that you get accountability in this program. So you will absolutely be able to, if you miss a workout, you will get an email that tells you you missed a workout. If you have questions, you can upload those questions and I will answer them. If you want me to check your form for you, I will check your form so you can upload a picture or a video. So it really is like coaching. And right now it's priced really affordably at only $14 a month. And that's a special deal for those of you that are on my list and watching my videos. You can use a coupon code to get that. So I hope you decide to try that out and join me in my mission to make sure that everybody is moving at their workstation and have healthy posture. All right, I'll see you next Monday for Monday Movement Madness. Have a great Monday.